This video is for anybody that has a Blackmagic Studio fiber converter and they lose the plate or they need to get extra plates. So the problem is that we had an event that required us to go take the camera. This is a Ursa Broadcast G2, and this will work on the G1s. We had put the battery plate on the camera and someone had lost the plate for the fiber converter. Now, no one will sell you this plate. You can only get this plate from Blackmagic Design directly. You can't get it from B&H, you can't get it from Adorama, you can't get it from anybody. So talking with some people that I knew in the industry, we actually found out what the model of the plate was. The model of the plate is a BMUMCA/PLTFCMNT. That is the model of the plate. Now, you can't find that information anywhere online to find that plate. I had talked to other people in the industry that have ran into this issue, and they gave me that. Now, here's the funny thing: you have to buy it specifically from Blackmagic, which is fine. I don't care. The issue is that they won't sell it to you unless you have the serial number of the fiber converter. So you have to go on the bottom of the device, and there is a little white sticker that will tell you the model number of the device. Now that's fine if you have it. Now when I ordered it, or when I tried to order it, I was out of town. I didn't have access to any of the equipment, and they refused to sell me the part. They said, we have to have the serial number, we have to tie the replacement part to the serial number of the device. It's a bent piece of metal with some holes and some screws, and they will not sell it to you unless you have the serial number of the device. Now, why is this an issue? Well, in my case, I was out of town and I was trying to order it for my team for an up-and-coming event. I was going to be out of town for a while, and I wanted to order it as soon as possible so that it could arrive as soon as possible, and we're still waiting for it to be delivered. So why is this also an issue? This is an issue for companies like mine that do rentals and do production work for other people. I would like to have multiples of these plates on standby should I ever lose it. They will only sell me one. They will only sell me one per serial number. So in other words, if you have a bunch of these and you want to have a couple laying on the shelf, they will not sell you multiples. They won't sell you the screws separately. They'll only sell you the plate, for example. So you have to buy everything as an assembly. The other problem that we have on these cameras is these cameras are only a year, 2 years old at the making of this video. There's these volume controls on the side of these cameras, and as you can see, there's one missing right here. Now, this camera has been very well tended for. It has a case, it stays in the case, it's clean, it's well taken care of. Well, the plastic for these volume control knobs is very thin and brittle and low quality. All of the cameras, I have over a dozen of these cameras. All of the cameras have developed it where these volume controls crack and break. Now, they don't break off while the operator is using them. They actually sitting in the flight case unused. You will find them just laying at the bottom of the case. So these you cannot buy. I have contacted over the phone and by email Blackmagic support. I said, I want these. They said, we won't sell them to you. They said, if you need this, you'll have to send in the whole camera. This whole camera would have to be sent to Blackmagic in order to get these volume control knobs. Now, I have sent cameras to Blackmagic Design before for repair, and they have sent me back the exact same camera in the exact same state I sent it, in a broken state, in an incorrect state. They didn't do anything, and I was down. I did not have the camera for 2 weeks. Okay, and I had to pay for shipping and everything to get it out there and to get it back, and for their service fee. And the problem was not resolved. So my team were very we don't want to send anything to them if we don't have to. And so, again, talking with support, they won't sell you the volume control knobs without giving the serial number of the camera. So you can't just go to Blackmagic and say, I want to have, a dozen or 2 dozen of these little plastic pieces to put on if they break off. You have to give them the serial number of the device, and they will only sell you one per device. So in the case of this fiber converter, they would only send me one plate. They are not letting me buy multiple plates. They want one serial number per each plate. Again, if you have inventory and perfect knowledge of all the equipment that you have, that's great. But if you don't have the serial number, you're SOL, especially if you're out of town like I was and you're trying to order in advance for an event that's going to come up quickly. The other thing is that the whole like, for example, if you want to go in something a little bit more intense, more involved, for example, this particular camera, we have the electronic viewfinder, the EVF, and what had happened was the SDI cable on this camera had become broken. What had happened was the SDI connector right at the SDI, the BNC connector that locks onto the camera, the viewfinder stopped working. It was just a blue screen. You could power it up. It was fine. What happened was, if you put an ohm meter across the center pin and the grounding shield of the BNC connector, you got a dead short. So the viewfinder stopped working. Now it was a fault inside the connector of this viewfinder, and I had contacted Blackmagic support to get the wiring loom. So there's a power cable and then there's the video cable. I had asked them, hey, how do I order this replacement part? Many other broadcast companies, Sony, Panasonic, many other companies, you can buy parts for their larger broadcast style equipment. Blackmagic refused. They said, you have to send it to us. We have to repair it. I said, I need just the wiring loom. That's all I need. I can repair it myself. They won't let you do it. So we ended up having to make the repair ourselves. We opened up the device. We figured out what type of connection we had to make internally on the PCB of the viewfinder. And we were able to make a repair for less than $25. $25 was the part of the cable with the correct connectors and everything to get inside of it. And we were able to make that repair. I'm making this video because Blackmagic is really starting to piss me off with their support team. Their support team is very unknowledgeable of even their own products. You have to jump through many hoops. You have to give them serial numbers of everything. Obviously, their support team takes many days to get an answer. The other thing is, with the support team, every time that I communicate with them, they have my email, they have my phone number, they have my first and last name, they have all my contact information. Every time I communicate with them, they say, oh, please give us your first and last name, your email address, your phone number, your mailing address, the name of your company, all this information. They're just so disorganized. They can't just pull up your information, especially when you want to make an order. I've ordered things from Blackmagic Design directly in the past, but they can't find your information, and it's just mind-boggling how disorganized they are and how hard they make this to be. So as far as getting the spare parts for this, I had to jump through so many hoops to get this part. I had to contact them. I had to wait 3 days for somebody to respond. And then over the course of another 2 days, I had to explain what I needed, even though I had the exact model number of what I needed. The turnaround time was really slow. And then on top of that, I had to talk to some of their senior supervisors or managers to get this taken care of, and they absolutely would not sell it to me without a serial number of the device for a bent piece of metal and some screws. It's mind-blowing how hard it is just to shut up and take my money. Just take my frickin' money. Here's the money, here's the part, give me the part, that's it. The last thing is that they would only process one order at a time. So if you look here, we've got the price of the part, which is $55, and then $14.49 for shipping. They wanted to process everything as one order. I wanted to buy multiples of these plates, so I would have at least one or two on hand in case this ever happened again. They refuse. They won't let me do it with what they want, one serial number per device. So they won't do it. The other thing is I wanted the little plastic caps for the volume control and the wiring loom for this viewfinder. Again, it's one of those things. They only have the capacity to process one order at a time. That's it. So they would only do the plate, and now I have to make a whole nother ticket or a whole nother thing to get either another plate or the volume controls. They don't have the capacity to multitask. They can't process and say, okay, we're going to give you a wiring loom and then we're going to give you the volume control knobs. They won't do it. So now I have to go, and now I'm going to have to pay another $14.49 for shipping to either get another plate or probably $14.49 for some volume control knobs. And I don't even know how many they're going to give me. Obviously, I want to get 2 for this, but I have, like I said, a dozen of these cameras that have this problem. And I don't want to have to, pay $14.49 for a set of 2 plastic pieces of plastic this big, and then process another order with another serial number of another camera, and then have another process of $14.49 shipping and handling. It's just asinine. It's absolutely asinine. So if you've ran into issues like this with Blackmagic, I really want you to tell me in the comments below, and I really want to make change. I would love for this video or other videos that I'm going to make about these problems get to the CEO, whose name is eluding me right now. Grant Petty. Grant Petty is the CEO of the company. I would love for this video to get to Grant, because Blackmagic makes wonderful products. They make phenomenal products. I've bought them. I love them. I think they're great, but their support sucks. It sucks so bad. Their support team is like Fisher Price, My First Switcher level. They only know how to tell you the most basic of things for the main support, which is fine when you buy a new switcher and it's your first time and you're part of a church production. But for people like me that have large productions with productions that can be in the tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars of cost, we need answers. We need answers now. And we're willing to pay for it. I'm willing to pay for it. I'm willing to pay for the parts, but don't bend me over backwards as far as, the timelines and the turnaround times and having to go through many hoops and having to stalemate somebody on the phone and say, I'm not going to get off the phone until you get me over to somebody that's going to help me, because you never know when they say they're going to send you to a manager. It might take days before they respond. And it's always by email. Why can't we have the spare parts made available on B&H or Adorama or somebody else? Why do we have to do this whole song and dance just to get some simple replacement parts? I'm not even talking about internal components on the cameras or switchers like power supplies. I'm just saying even simple things like a replacement plate for this. That's so easy to lose. It's a plate with 4 screws, 8 screws. It's unbelievable. And the same thing with these little connectors. You can't get access to any of this stuff. Anyway, again, I hope this video eventually gets to Grant. I'm going to make a whole bunch of other videos going into detail of the issues and the solutions that I've come up with to solve the problems. I'm going to make another video here about this viewfinder in a little bit that I think will be very helpful for many people. If you find this video helpful or interesting, please give it a like and comment down below. I want to hear everybody's response and reaction to this and their experience with Blackmagic. So thanks for watching.